Every high mountain carries a softness that can only be felt when nothing is hurried. Above the long valleys of the Andes, where clouds drift low and light moves slowly across the grass, the world seems to breathe at a gentler pace. Here the wind does not rush, it lingers. The earth does not demand attention. It simply waits, patient and warm beneath centuries of quiet footsteps. Tonight, we begin our journey in this elevated stillness, a place shaped by time, weather, and calm endurance. As distant peaks fade into the blue of evening and the land settles into its familiar rhythm, you are invited to slow with it. There is nothing you need to follow closely, nothing you need to remember. Only the soft unfolding of nature, moment by moment. Welcome to sleepy nature sleep, where the wild grows soft and curiosity becomes calm. Tonight, let your thoughts follow the rhythm of the earth, your breathing settle like evening wind, and your mind wander gently through the quiet wild. As you rest here, imagine the cool air of the highlands brushing past tall grasses. Somewhere nearby, alpacas stand together in unspoken harmony, their presence unassuming, their movements unhurried. They are creatures shaped not by speed or urgency, but by patience, warmth, and quiet awareness. Their world is one of slow mornings, gentle grazing, and long pauses beneath wide skies. This is a place where life unfolds without noise, where even the animals seem to understand that rest is not an absence of living, but an essential part of it. And as we explore this calm corner of the natural world together, you may find your own thoughts beginning to soften, loosening their grip, drifting like clouds over distant ridgelines. If you are new here, you are warmly welcomed into this shared stillness. And if you return often, thank you for bringing your quiet presence back into the wild with us. This space exists because of listeners who value slowness, gentleness, and the simple comfort of nature told softly. If this journey brings you ease, you may choose to support the channel in the ways that feel natural to you, through a kind word, a quiet subscription, or simply by resting here again another night. There is no rush, no destination beyond calm itself. As the sky deepens and the light thins, we begin to turn our attention toward the peaceful lives of Peruvian alpacas, animals who have mastered the art of being present, warm and untroubled by the passing hours. In the chapters ahead, we will walk slowly through their world, guided not by facts alone, but by feeling, rhythm, and the quiet wisdom of living gently. For now, allow your shoulders to relax, let your breath slow, and follow the hush of the Andes into a story that moves as softly as sleep itself. Above the Peruvian Andes, the air often feels thin and clean, as if it has been gently rinsed by wind and time. Clouds drift low across the slopes, unhurried and soft-edged, casting slow shadows over pale grass. The world up here seems to move with a quieter intention. Even sound arrives with less weight. A distant bird call, a faint rustle of stems, the hush of open space. If you imagine yourself standing here, you might notice how naturally your breathing begins to slow, not because you force it to, simply because the land offers a rhythm that is easy to follow. In places like this, nothing seems to demand speed. Nothing insists on being louder than the sky. And in that wide, gentle stillness, there is a simple question that begins to form, like a thought that floats up and then rests. What does it mean to live well in a world that does not hurry? It is a question the mountains do not answer with words. They answer with steadiness, with sunrise arriving the same quiet way, day after day, with grasses bending and returning, with stones holding warmth for a little while, then letting it go. And nearby, alpacas stand as if they belong to the silence itself. They are not dramatic creatures. They do not fill the landscape with noise. Their bodies seem made for softness, rounded silhouettes, calm eyes, thick wool that catches the light like a muted halo. When they move with a kind of careful ease, as though each step is chosen from a place of comfort rather than necessity. Sometimes they pause for long moments, simply existing among the grass and wind, as if being is already enough. Watching them, the question shifts slightly, becoming gentler, more personal. What if living well can be quiet? What if a good day does not need to be filled, only held? Alpacas seem to carry an unspoken understanding that slowness is not a lack of purpose. It can be its own kind of wisdom. Their time is shaped by small, consistent needs, a little grazing, a little resting, staying close to one another, letting the weather pass through without argument. There is an ordinary grace to it, and that ordinariness feels soothing. You may notice, as you listen, that your own mind can begin to loosen its grip. Thoughts can soften around the edges. They can drift like those clouds, moving without effort. You do not have to chase them. You do not have to finish them. For tonight, let the Andes hold the larger questions for you. Let the open sky be wide enough for everything you do not need to solve. And let the alpacas show you a gentler idea of what it means to move through a day, slowly, quietly, warmly. As we continue, we will step closer into their world, into the cozy, patient rhythms of alpaca life in the highlands, where the land and the animals seem to agree on one simple truth. There is time, there is space, and it is safe to rest inside them. Before we arrive fully into the lives of alpacas, it helps to rest for a moment within the land itself. The Andes do not reveal everything at once. They open slowly, like a long breath exhaled over centuries. Layer upon layer of hills soften into plateaus, and beyond them, higher ridges fade gently into pale blue distance. Here, the ground feels open and calm. Wide stretches of puna grass sway in unison, their movements subtle enough to be almost imagined. The earth carries muted colors, soft greens, dusty golds, gentle browns, tones that never demand attention, only offer quiet presence. Stones lie where they have always been, warmed by the sun during the day, cooling gradually as evening approaches. The air is thin but not harsh. It feels spacious. Each sound has room to dissolve. Wind moves freely, brushing across the land without urgency, shaping clouds as much as it shapes thought. Light arrives slowly here, spreading across slopes rather than flashing. Even when the sun stands high, its warmth feels measured, calm, and kind. This is a place shaped by patience. The Andes have watched countless seasons pass, wet and dry, warm and cool, without holding on to any one of them. Grass grows, rests, and grows again. Streams appear quietly after rain, then fade back into the soil. Nothing rushes to remain. Nothing resists change. The landscape seems comfortable with returning again and again to familiar forms. Within this gentle world, Alpacas fit naturally, as though the land itself had imagined them. Their soft forms echo the curves of the hills. Their colors blend with stone and grass. When they stand still, they almost disappear into the scenery, becoming part of the calm rather than separate from it. The land provides what is needed, and no more. Short grasses offer steady nourishment. Open space allows awareness without tension. Cool nights invite closeness and rest. Everything here feels balanced, not because it is perfect, but because it is consistent. As you listen, you might imagine standing quietly at the edge of this landscape. There is no path to follow, no direction required. You can simply notice how the horizon stretches wide, how the sky feels closer than usual, how thoughts naturally slow when there is nothing pressing against them. This setting does not ask you to stay alert. It invites you to soften. The Andes teach their lessons gently. They do not instruct, they demonstrate. They show how life can unfold without excess, how days can pass without being crowded, how stillness can be a form of abundance. In this calm terrain, alpaca life makes sense. Their unhurried routines mirror the land's steady pace. Their quiet presence feels like a continuation of the hills themselves. As we move forward, carrying this landscape with us, we begin to understand that the story of alpacas is also the story of this place, a place that holds, supports, and never asks for more than what comes naturally. And within that understanding, the body can begin to rest more deeply, as if the land itself is holding you too. As morning light settles gently across the high plains, alpacas begin to move, not with urgency, but with a quiet intention that feels almost ceremonial. Their hooves touch the earth softly, pressing into soil shaped by countless seasons before them. Each step is light, careful, as though the ground itself is something to be respected rather than crossed. The land here is old. Long before alpacas wandered these slopes, wind and water had already smoothed the stones, thinned the soil, and taught the hills how to curve instead of rise sharply. Time has passed slowly in this place, and the ground remembers that pace. It offers firmness without hardness, stability without resistance. Alpaca hooves are well suited to this ancient surface. Padded and gentle, they do not cut deeply into the soil. They leave only faint impressions, marks that linger briefly, then soften, then disappear. In this way, movement becomes almost temporary, like a thought that drifts through the mind and fades without effort. There is a quiet science behind this softness. Gentle steps help protect fragile grasses, allowing them to regrow and return season after season. The land remains open and alive because it is treated with care. Nothing is trampled. Nothing is forced. Life continues because it is allowed to. Watching alpacas walk across the plains can feel calming in itself. Their bodies sway slightly. Their heads remain level. Their attention spread wide rather than focused sharply ahead. They pause often, not because they are unsure, but because there is no reason not to. Stillness is part of movement here, woven naturally into the day. As you imagine these slow crossings, you may notice a similar easing within yourself. Your own body knows this rhythm, even if it has forgotten it for a while. The sensation of walking without destination, of moving simply because it feels natural to do so. The ground beneath the alpacas carries warmth stored from the sun. It releases that warmth gradually, offering comfort without demand. At night, the same earth cools slowly, inviting rest. The exchange is quiet, steady, and dependable. In this relationship between hoof and soil, there is a lesson that does not need to be spoken. Life does not always require deep impressions. Sometimes the lightest touch is enough. Sometimes passing through gently is the most sustainable way to belong. The alpacas continue on, their paths unmarked, their presence calm. The land accepts them without ceremony, just as it always has. And as this scene unfolds slowly in your mind, you are invited to let your own thoughts walk the same way, softly, without pressure, leaving no trace behind. There is nothing to reach, nothing to arrive at, only the quiet comfort of moving gently across ancient ground and knowing that it is enough. Morning arrives slowly in the Andes. It does not announce itself. It simply appears, a gentle change in color along the edges of the sky. Darkness thins into soft blue, and the first light settles quietly over grass and stone. Nothing stirs all at once. The land wakes the way a resting body does, gradually, without instruction. Alpacas greet the morning in much the same way. There is no sudden movement when the light changes, no sharp beginning to the day. They remain where they are for a while, standing or resting, allowing warmth to reach them before they respond. The cold of night loosens its hold, and the air becomes a little kinder. This is enough reason to begin. When alpacas do move, it is unhurried, heads lower toward grass. Steps are small and measured. The morning is not something to conquer. It is something to enter gently. Their bodies seem to know that energy is something to be spent slowly, saved carefully, and renewed naturally. In the highlands, mornings are calm by necessity. The thin air and cool temperatures encourage steadiness. Rapid movement would feel unnecessary here, even uncomfortable. Instead, alpacas ease into the day, allowing their internal rhythms to align with the land's quiet pace. There's a simple biology beneath this calm. Slow starts help conserve warmth. Gentle movement allows muscles to wake without strain. Grazing early provides steady nourishment without urgency. But these facts settle softly into the background, almost unnoticed, because the feeling of the moment matters more than the explanation. You might imagine standing nearby, watching the morning unfold. The grass carries a faint shimmer of dew. The light grows warmer but never harsh. Shadows shorten without hurry. Even the wind feels tentative, as though it, too, is still waking. Alpacas pause often during these early hours. They lift their heads, look outward, then return to stillness. These pauses are not interruptions. They are part of the rhythm. Awareness and rest flow together, unseparated. As you listen, you may sense how different this beginning feels from many human mornings. There is no alarm here, no division between rest and activity. One simply dissolves into the other. Sleep fades into waking the way night fades into day, without sharp edges. The alpacas continue their gentle routine, unconcerned with time passing. They do not measure the morning. They inhabit it. Each moment is given the same quiet attention, whether it holds movement or stillness. And as this slow beginning settles into your thoughts, you may find permission to soften your own sense of time, to imagine a morning or a moment where nothing needs to begin quickly, where the day opens like light on grass. Here, in the Andes, alpacas remind us that waking does not have to be abrupt, that life can begin the way it rests, calm, steady, and kind. And in that gentleness, the body learns again how to feel at ease. As the day continues to unfold across the high plains, alpacas often remain close to one another, their bodies forming loose, quiet groupings against the open land. There is no sense of crowding here. Space remains wide and generous. Yet within that openness, togetherness feels natural, almost instinctive. They stand shoulder to shoulder, or just a few steps apart, creating small pockets of shared warmth and calm. No signals are exchanged. No decisions are announced. The closeness seems to happen on its own, guided by an unspoken understanding that being near is simply more comfortable than being alone. In the Andes, the air can shift gently throughout the day. A breeze may cool the ground. Clouds may briefly dim the sun. When this happens, alpacas respond not with movement, but with proximity. Bodies align. Wool brushes softly against wool. Warmth is shared without effort. There is a quiet science within this behavior. Staying close helps conserve heat. It reduces exposure. It offers subtle protection from the elements. But like so many things in this landscape, the explanation fades into the background. What remains is the feeling of ease that comes from belonging. Alpacas do not cling to one another. They do not press or crowd. Their togetherness is relaxed, adjustable, respectful. If one steps away, the group adjusts without concern. If another draws closer, space opens naturally. Balance is maintained without instruction. Watching them like this, you might notice how peaceful the scene feels. The land is wide, yet no one is isolated. The group is quiet, yet full of presence. It is a reminder that connection does not require noise or constant interaction. Sometimes it is enough simply to be near. As the sun moves slowly overhead, the alpacas remain settled. Some graze, some rest. Some stand with eyes half-lidded, listening to the wind pass through grass. Their calm seems to spread outward, softening the space around them. You may feel something similar within yourself as you imagine this scene. A gentle sense of being held, even without touch. A reminder that rest does not have to be solitary to be deep, that comfort can exist in shared silence. In human life, closeness often comes with expectation, conversation, attention, response. But here, among alpacas, closeness asks for nothing. It simply exists. Presence is enough. As the group remains together, the hours pass quietly. Shadows shift. Light warms and cools. The alpacas continue to share space without effort, without need to define the moment. And in this gentle gathering, there is a lesson offered softly by the land itself. That safety can be quiet, that connection can be calm, and that sometimes the most restful place to be is simply near others who are also at ease. Let that idea settle gently now. Let the feeling of quiet companionship remain, and allow yourself to rest within it. As the day moves gently onward, the presence of alpaca wool becomes quietly noticeable, not as something separate from the animal, but as an extension of the landscape itself. Thick, soft, and layered, it rests around each alpaca like a living memory of the mountains that shaped it. The Andes are generous in their own calm way, but they are not always warm. Cool air lingers even beneath sunlight. Nights arrive with a steady chill. In this environment, warmth is not taken for granted. It is gathered slowly, held carefully, and released only when needed. Alpaca wool does exactly this. It grows gradually, season by season, responding to the rhythms of temperature and light. Each fiber forms without urgency, adding softness upon softness, creating a natural insulation that feels almost thoughtful. The wool traps warmth close to the body, while still allowing air to move freely. Comfort arrives without heaviness. Protection comes without rigidity. There is quiet science within this design. The structure of alpaca fiber helps regulate temperature, keeping bodies warm when the air cools and allowing excess heat to drift away when the sun lingers longer. But here, in this calm telling, the science feels less like explanation and more like appreciation, an acknowledgement of how well the animal fits its world. As alpacas stand or rest, their wool catches the light differently than skin or stone. It softens shadows. It blurs edges. When wind passes through the herd, the fibers move gently, creating a subtle motion that feels almost like breathing. The landscape seems to respond in kind, grasses swaying nearby, clouds shifting slowly above. This wool is not hurried into existence. It is not shaped by sudden change. It grows patiently, responding to what the land offers, never asking for more. In this way, it mirrors the rhythm of alpaca life itself, steady, calm, and deeply adapted. You might imagine reaching out, feeling the texture in your thoughts, not to grasp, but simply to notice. The sensation would be warm, yielding, reassuring, a reminder that softness can be strong and that comfort does not need to be loud to be effective. Over time, alpacas shed and regrow this wool, allowing renewal without disruption. Nothing is forced. Nothing is lost abruptly. Change arrives gently, the way seasons do, one quiet adjustment at a time. As you listen, this idea of warmth may begin to extend inward, a sense of being wrapped, not tightly, but securely, as if the mountains themselves have offered a layer of calm around your thoughts. Here, warmth is not something chased, it is something grown. And in that slow, steady growth, alpacas teach a simple lesson: that protection can be soft, that adaptation can be gentle, and that the most enduring comforts are often the ones that arrive quietly, layer by layer, until rest feels natural again. Let that softness remain with you now. Let it settle, and let the world continue, slowly and kindly, around you. Across the open highlands, the wind is almost always present. It moves gently along the slopes, slides over ridges, and weaves quietly through grass and wool. Here in the Andes, wind is not treated as an interruption. It is simply another part of the day, arriving and leaving without announcement. Alpacas seem to understand this instinctively. When the breeze passes, they do not resist it. They do not turn away sharply or brace themselves against it. Instead, they remain where they are, bodies angled slightly, wool lifting and settling as the air flows through. The wind moves around them, and they allow it to pass without comment. There is a softness to this response that feels deeply calming to observe. Rather than reacting, alpacas receive the moment as it is. The wind becomes part of their stillness, not something that breaks it. Their posture remains relaxed, eyes calm, attention wide rather than focused. The science beneath this behavior is gentle and simple. Alpaca wool is designed to let air move through without stripping away warmth. Their bodies conserve energy by remaining steady rather than adjusting constantly. Stillness, once again, proves to be efficient. But these explanations rest quietly beneath the surface, secondary to the feeling of ease that fills the scene. You might imagine standing nearby, feeling the same breeze touch your face. Notice how, when you do not resist it, the sensation becomes softer, cooler perhaps, but not uncomfortable. The wind does not ask anything of you. It only passes. In many places, wind is treated as something to escape. But here, it is part of the landscape's breathing. It carries subtle scents of grass and stone. It smooths the surface of thought. It reminds the body that movement does not always require effort. Alpacas occasionally shift their weight, take a step or two, then return to stillness. These small adjustments feel natural, unforced. Nothing dramatic changes. The day continues at its calm pace. As you listen, you may notice how this quiet acceptance begins to echo inside you. Thoughts, like wind, can move through without needing to be stopped. Sensations can arise and pass without demanding attention. The mind does not need to push back. It can remain at rest. The wind continues its gentle wandering across the high plains. Clouds respond by drifting. Grass responds by bending, then returning upright. Alpacas respond by remaining calm. In this shared rhythm, there is a lesson offered without words, that peace does not come from controlling what moves around us, but from learning how to remain steady as it passes. Let that idea settle slowly now. Let the inner winds soften and allow yourself to rest, just as the alpacas do, listening, receiving, and remaining quietly at ease. In the open stretches of the Andes, grazing is not an activity set apart from the rest of the day. It is woven gently into every hour, unfolding without schedule or urgency. Alpacas lower their heads toward the grass with a calm attentiveness, selecting each small bite as though time itself has slowed to match the movement. The grasses here are modest and resilient. They grow close to the ground, shaped by wind, sun, and thin soil. Nothing rises quickly. Nothing overwhelms the space. To live well in this landscape, eating becomes an act of patience rather than abundance. Alpacas graze slowly, taking small mouthfuls and moving only when needed. Their bodies remain relaxed, their steps minimal. This gentle approach allows the grasses to recover, to continue growing quietly long after the herd has moved on. The land remains balanced because it is treated kindly, moment by moment. There is simple biology beneath this rhythm. Slow grazing supports steady digestion. It conserves energy. It allows the body to remain warm and calm. But these details do not announce themselves. They exist quietly, like the grasses themselves, doing their work without drawing attention. Watching alpacas graze can feel almost meditative. Heads lower, chewing becomes rhythmic. Pauses appear naturally between movements. Nothing interrupts the flow. Even the wind seems to slow, as if listening. You might imagine yourself nearby, sitting comfortably on the earth, observing without expectation. There is no rush to finish, no sense of before or after. The moment stretches gently, holding only what is needed. In many worlds, eating becomes hurried. separated from rest and awareness. But here, grazing and resting blend together. Nourishment arrives gradually, and the body has time to receive it fully. There is no urgency to fill space, only a quiet trust that enough will arrive. Occasionally, an alpaca lifts its head, glancing outward before returning to the grass. Awareness and nourishment coexist without conflict. The land feels safe enough to allow both. As you listen, you may notice your own breath settling into a similar rhythm. Slow in, slow out, mirroring the steady movement below. The body understands this pace. It remembers how to receive without grasping. The grasses continue to sway gently, bending but not breaking. The alpacas continue to graze, untroubled by passing time. The day moves forward, but softly, almost unnoticed. In this quiet exchange between animal and land, there is a lesson offered without instruction, that taking only what is needed at a pace that allows renewal creates ease for both the giver and the receiver. Let that thought rest gently now. Let nourishment arrive slowly, and allow yourself to remain here, settled and calm, as the world continues at its own unhurried pace. In the high Andes, sound behaves differently. It does not echo loudly or linger with insistence. Instead, it moves softly, dissolving into open space almost as soon as it appears. The landscape seems to absorb noise, smoothing its edges until only the gentlest traces remain. Alpacas belong naturally to this quiet world. They are not animals of sharp calls or sudden cries. Their voices, when they appear at all, arrive as low hums, soft vibrations that feel more like breath than sound. These gentle tones drift briefly through the air, then fade, leaving behind a sense of calm rather than interruption. Most of the time, alpacas communicate without sound. A subtle shift of posture, a small turn of the head, a quiet awareness shared across the herd. Silence here is not empty. It is full of meaning, carried through presence rather than noise. Around them, the natural soundscape remains equally restrained. Wind brushes through grass with a hushed whisper. Hooves touch the ground with muted softness. Even the movement of wool creates only the faintest rustle, like fabric settling in a quiet room. This softness serves a purpose. In open landscapes, loud sounds travel far. By remaining quiet, alpacas maintain a sense of steadiness and safety. Calm is preserved because nothing breaks it. But beyond this gentle logic, there is something deeply soothing about a world that does not demand attention through volume. As you imagine this place, you may notice how your own ears relax. There is nothing to listen for closely, nothing to anticipate. Sounds arrive and depart without urgency, allowing the mind to rest between them. In many environments, silence feels incomplete, something waiting to be filled. But here, silence feels whole. It wraps around the land like a soft blanket, holding everything gently in place. Alpacas occasionally hum to one another, especially when close together. These sounds are not calls across distance. They are intimate, nearby, meant only for those within reach. The effect is calming rather than alerting, reinforcing closeness without disturbance. As the day progresses, the soundscape remains consistent. Morning quiet blends into afternoon stillness. Evening arrives without fanfare. The absence of sharp noise allows time to stretch, uninterrupted. You may find that your thoughts begin to follow this pattern as well. fewer sharp edges, less internal noise. Ideas drift through gently, then settle without needing response. The Andes hold this quiet carefully. They allow sound only when it belongs, and even then, only briefly. Alpacas move within this hush as if it were a familiar home, never trying to fill it, never trying to escape it. In this calm, acoustic world, there's a subtle invitation to let silence be enough, to allow space between sounds, between thoughts, between breaths. Let that silence remain with you now. Let it soften the edges of awareness and rest within a world where nothing needs to be louder than the wind moving slowly through grass. In the high elevations of the Andes, energy is something to be treated with care. The air is thin, the temperatures shift gently but steadily, and the land asks for balance rather than excess. Here, stillness is not an absence of life. It is a thoughtful choice, woven quietly into the rhythm of the day. Alpacas seem to understand this without effort. Much of their time is spent standing calmly or resting with little movement, bodies relaxed, weight distributed evenly. They do not pace, they do not fidget. Their posture remains easy, as if each muscle has learned exactly how much effort is needed and no more. In this way, stillness becomes a form of conservation, a way of honoring the limits of the environment while remaining comfortable within it. There is gentle biology beneath this calm. Remaining still helps alpacas preserve warmth. It reduces the need for extra oxygen. It allows digestion to continue slowly and steadily. Energy is saved not by doing less, but by doing only what is necessary. The body remains supported without being strained. But beyond the science, there is a feeling that stillness carries here, a sense of trust. The alpacas do not seem alert or tense as they rest. Their eyes remain soft, half aware, open to the surroundings without scanning them. Awareness does not require movement. Presence does not require effort. You might imagine sitting nearby, noticing how this stillness feels in your own body. How the absence of constant motion allows breath to deepen naturally. How muscles soften when they are no longer preparing for the next task. The body begins to remember that rest can be active in its own quiet way. The land participates in this stillness too. Grass sways minimally. Stones remain warm and unmoving. Clouds drift slowly, unconcerned with direction. Nothing presses forward. Everything seems to agree that there is enough time. Occasionally, an alpaca shifts position, takes a step, or lowers its head. These movements feel intentional, never rushed. Action arises from rest, then dissolves back into it. There is no separation between doing and being. One flows naturally into the other. As the hours pass, this gentle conservation allows the alpacas to remain steady throughout the day. There is no visible fatigue, no urgency to recover. Energy is replenished continuously through calm behavior, slow nourishment, and shared warmth. Listening to this rhythm, you may find your own sense of effort beginning to soften. The idea that you must constantly move, think, or respond can begin to loosen. Perhaps rest does not need to be earned. Perhaps it can simply be entered. The alpacas remain where they are, quietly balanced within their environment. Stillness holds them, supports them, and keeps them warm. It is not empty. It is full of care. Let that understanding settle gently now. Let stillness feel supportive rather than idle, and allow your body to rest in the same quiet way, conserving energy, releasing effort, and remaining comfortably present as the world continues, slowly and kindly, around you. Above the Andean plains, clouds move with a quiet patience, their shapes stretching and softening as they travel across the wide sky. They do not arrive suddenly, nor do they leave with urgency. Instead, they drift, casting gentle shadows that slide slowly over grass, stone, and the rounded forms of resting alpacas below. These shifting patterns of light and shade become part of the day's rhythm. As clouds pass overhead, the landscape changes almost without notice. Sunlight dims slightly, then returns. Colors cool, then warm again. Nothing feels interrupted. The transition is smooth, like a long, unbroken breath. Alpacas remain where they are, unconcerned by these changes, allowing light and shadow to move freely across their wool. Their coats respond beautifully to this passing light. Wool softens the contrast, blending brightness and shade into muted tones. Edges blur gently, movement becomes subtle. The animals appear almost painted into the land, their outlines dissolving momentarily as clouds pass. There is quiet science here as well. Light cloud cover helps regulate temperature, offering brief relief from direct sun without cooling the air too much. Alpacas benefit from this balance, remaining comfortable without needing to adjust. But once again, the explanation feels secondary to the calm experience itself. You might imagine lying back on the earth, watching these clouds move slowly above you. Notice how your eyes do not need to focus sharply. Shapes can remain soft. Attention can widen rather than narrow. The mind, like the sky, becomes a place where things pass without leaving marks. Cloud shadows travel across the herd, touching one alpaca, then another, then moving on. No one responds. No one follows. The moment arrives, lingers briefly, and fades. This gentle impermanence feels soothing, reminding the body that change does not have to be disruptive. In many places, light shifts quickly, screens flicker, brightness demands reaction. But here, the change is slow enough to feel safe. It invites observation rather than response. Even time itself seems to pause, allowing the eyes and mind to rest together. The alpacas continue their quiet routines beneath this moving sky. Some graze slowly, some stand still, some rest with eyes half closed, unaware of which cloud passes overhead. Their comfort does not depend on consistency. It rests in trust that the land will remain gentle, that the sky will continue its slow dance. As you listen, you may notice your thoughts behaving similarly. A memory drifts by, a feeling appears, then softens. Nothing needs to be held. Nothing needs to be pushed away. Awareness remains steady, even as experiences pass through. The clouds continue on, unhurried, unconcerned. Light returns softly to the plains. Wool warms again under the sun. The day remains calm. Let this movement settle within you now. Let thoughts become like cloud shadows, appearing, drifting, and dissolving without effort. And rest here, beneath a sky that knows how to change gently. In the wide openness of the Andes, communication does not need to be loud to be understood. Space itself carries meaning here. Distance, stillness, and subtle movement speak gently, allowing animals to remain connected, without breaking the calm that surrounds them. Alpacas communicate in this quiet way. Rather than calling out, they rely on small signals that drift easily through the air. An ear turns slightly, catching a sound that may never reach the listener. A head lifts just a little, eyes soft and attentive, scanning the horizon without urgency. These movements are minimal, yet meaningful, shared among the herd without drawing attention. Their ears are especially expressive. They tilt, rotate, and pause, responding to changes in the environment with quiet awareness. An ear turned forward suggests gentle interest. One angled back reflects calm attentiveness. These signals are not warnings or commands. They are acknowledgments, small notes exchanged between animals who trust one another and the land they share. Eyes play a similar role. Alpaca eyes remain relaxed, often half-lidded, allowing awareness without tension. They do not stare. They rest lightly on the world, noticing rather than focusing. When one alpaca glances toward another, the look is brief and soft, enough to communicate presence without demanding response. This kind of communication suits a peaceful landscape. Loud signals would feel unnecessary here, even disruptive. The land is open enough that subtlety travels well. Meaning moves gently, carried by familiarity rather than force. You might imagine standing nearby, noticing how these small movements feel easier to follow than words. The absence of noise creates space for observation. Attention can rest instead of sharpen. Nothing competes for focus. There is gentle science behind this quiet language. Subtle communication conserves energy. It maintains group cohesion without creating stress. It allows animals to remain calm while staying connected. But once again, these facts sit quietly beneath the surface, secondary to the feeling of ease that fills the scene. As you listen, you may notice how comforting this way of relating feels. No need to explain. No need to respond immediately. Awareness itself becomes enough. Presence replaces conversation. In human life, communication often feels demanding, filled with expectation and response. But here, among alpacas, understanding flows without effort. A glance is enough. A shared stillness says more than sound ever could. The herd remains settled, each animal gently attuned to the others without interrupting their own rest. The day continues quietly. The sky drifts, grass sways. Nothing insists on being noticed. As this calm language unfolds in your thoughts, you may feel invited to practice it inwardly, to notice sensations without labeling them, to acknowledge thoughts without engaging them, to let awareness remain soft and wide. The alpacas continue, ears turning gently, eyes resting easily. Communication happens without disturbance. Connection exists without noise. Let that quiet understanding settle within you now. Let awareness remain gentle and rest in a world where nothing needs to be said for everything to be understood. High in the Andes, the air carries a particular clarity. It feels light, open, and spacious, as though there is more room for breath itself. At this elevation, oxygen is less abundant, yet life continues calmly, adapting without strain or complaint. The land does not hurry to compensate. It simply settles into balance. Alpacas move through this thin air with quiet ease. Their bodies are shaped by generations of gentle adjustment. Breathing remains slow and steady, never forced. Each inhale arrives softly, Each exhale leaves without effort. The rhythm is unremarkable in the best possible way, consistent, calm, and deeply familiar to the animal. There is simple biology beneath this comfort. Alpacas have blood well suited to carrying oxygen efficiently, allowing their bodies to remain nourished even when the air offers less. Their hearts beat evenly. Their muscles work without urgency. Nothing pushes beyond what is needed. But here, this science feels less like explanation and more like reassurance, proof that life can flourish without excess. As alpacas stand or graze, their breathing remains barely noticeable. Chests rise and fall gently in time with the slow movement of the day. There is no visible effort, no sense of adaptation as struggle. Instead, there is harmony, an agreement between body and environment that feels quietly complete. You might imagine standing nearby, noticing your own breath responding to this scene. In the open air, breathing can deepen naturally. Inhale becomes slower. Exhale lengthens. The body finds comfort in spaciousness, even without realizing it. The thin air invites awareness without tension. Sounds travel softly. Movement feels deliberate. Thoughts, too, seem to slow, as if the mind recognizes there is no need to rush in a place like this. Everything has room to arrive in its own time. Alpacas occasionally lift their heads, gazing across the plains. Their breathing remains unchanged. Curiosity does not disrupt calm. Awareness does not interrupt rest. The body continues its steady rhythm regardless of where attention drifts. As the hours pass, this gentle breathing sustains them through grazing, through stillness, through shared closeness. Energy is neither depleted nor hoarded. It flows quietly, supported by a pace that honors the limits of the land. Listening to this rhythm, you may begin to feel a subtle invitation to trust your breath, to let it arrive without control, to allow the body to find its own balance, just as these animals do. In the Andes, alpacas show that fullness does not require abundance, that ease can exist even where resources are modest, that breathing itself, when left undisturbed, knows exactly how to support life. Let that understanding settle gently now. Let your breath remain slow and unforced, and rest within the quiet assurance that you are supported by air, by rhythm, and by the calm intelligence of living fully, one gentle breath at a time. As the sun reaches its highest point, the Andes open into a wide, luminous stillness. The sky stretches endlessly in every direction, pale blue and untroubled, holding the land beneath it with quiet steadiness. Light settles evenly across grass and stone, warming without pressing, illuminating without demanding attention. This is the hour when movement naturally softens. Alpacas respond to midday not by doing more, but by doing less. Many pause their grazing and settle into stillness, standing comfortably or lowering themselves gently onto the ground. Bodies relax, muscles release their effort. The warmth of the sun is received slowly, like a calm hand resting on the back. There is no sense of stopping abruptly. Rest simply arrives, the way shade slides across the plains. It feels like a continuation rather than a change. Activity fades into stillness so smoothly that the boundary between the two becomes difficult to notice. The science beneath this midday pause is quiet and practical. Resting during the brightest hours helps conserve energy and maintain a steady body temperature. But once again, The explanation remains secondary to the feeling of the moment, a feeling of safety in pausing, of permission to be still while the world remains bright and awake. From the ground, the sky feels especially vast. Clouds drift slowly, if they appear at all. Time seems to stretch, as though the day has gently widened to make room for rest. Alpacas remain settled beneath this openness, unbothered by how long the moment lasts. You might imagine lying back as well, supported by the earth, eyes half closed. The light filters through awareness without sharpness. Thoughts become lighter, less defined. The mind, like the sky, holds everything loosely. Occasionally, an alpaca shifts its position or adjusts its weight. These movements are small, instinctive, and unhurried. Nothing interrupts the calm. The body remains comfortable, attentive only to what is necessary. The land itself seems to rest at midday. Wind quiets, grass sways minimally. Even sound feels softened, as if the air has grown thicker with warmth. Everything agrees that this is a time for easing rather than effort. As you listen, you may notice how this midday rest invites your own body to soften. Shoulders may lower, breathing may slow. The sense of needing to continue, to accomplish, to move forward, can gently dissolve. Here, beneath an endless sky, rest does not feel like retreat. It feels like alignment, body, land, and light moving together without friction. Alpacas remain calm, settled into the warmth, their presence quiet and reassuring. They do not worry about what comes next. They trust the rhythm that has carried them through countless days like this one. Let that trust settle within you now. Let the brightness of the moment hold you gently, and allow yourself to rest beneath the wide sky, supported, unhurried, and at ease. In the Andes, familiarity does not come from signs or borders. It comes from repeated presence, from moving through the same gentle curves of land day after day, until the mountains no longer feel vast or unknown, but quietly recognizable, like a room that has been lived in for a long time. Alpacas carry this sense of familiarity with them. They move within ranges that feel comfortable, not because they are limited, but because there is ease in knowing the land well. Every slope, every shallow dip, every patch of grass holds a subtle memory. The ground feels predictable beneath their hooves. The wind arrives from directions that feel expected. The sky behaves in ways that have been seen many times before. This familiarity creates calm. Alpacas do not appear alert or cautious as they stand within these spaces. Their bodies rest into the landscape as if it were an extension of themselves. There is no need to scan constantly or anticipate change. The environment has proven itself steady, and that steadiness allows the body to soften. There is gentle science beneath this sense of comfort. Animals that remain within familiar territory expend less energy. Stress stays low. Attention can widen rather than sharpen. But beyond the explanation, there is something deeply soothing about belonging to a place so fully that it no longer feels separate from you. You might imagine walking slowly through a place you know well, a familiar path, a favorite room. The way your body moves differently when it recognizes its surroundings, shoulders relaxed, breath even, thoughts less busy. The Andes offer this same feeling to the alpacas, but on a larger, quieter scale. The mountains do not surprise them. They hold them. As clouds pass and light shifts, alpacas remain settled. Change happens, but it happens within a known frame. Nothing feels threatening. Nothing feels urgent. Even unfamiliar moments are absorbed gently by the larger sense of home. This relationship between animal and land feels almost tender. The mountains do not dominate. The alpacas do not conquer. They coexist, shaped by one another over time until distinction becomes subtle. Listening to this story, you may notice a similar longing within yourself for spaces that feel familiar enough to allow rest, for moments where awareness does not need to stay alert, for environments that say, quietly, "You are safe here." The alpacas stand calmly, their presence unremarkable in the best way. They are not performing, they are simply where they belong. The land recognizes them, and they recognize the land. As the day continues, this familiarity remains constant, holding everything gently in place. The sky may change, the wind may shift, but the sense of belonging does not waver. Let that feeling settle now. Imagine being in a place that knows you well, where nothing asks you to explain yourself, where rest comes naturally, simply because you are home. And stay here, quietly, as the mountains continue to hold their calm, and to offer it to you as well. In the highlands of the Andes, water rarely announces itself. It does not rush loudly through wide rivers or fall dramatically from great heights. Instead, it appears in quiet forms, small streams threading gently through grass, shallow pools reflecting the sky, damp soil holding moisture just beneath the surface. Alpacas seem to know where to find it. They move calmly toward these subtle sources, guided by familiarity rather than urgency. There is no scramble, no sudden change in pace. Water is approached the same way everything else is approached here, with patience and trust. Heads lower slowly, lips touch the surface lightly. Drinking becomes a quiet pause within the day, not a task to be completed. The land offers water sparingly but consistently. Seasonal rains soak into the ground, feeding grasses and replenishing hidden channels. What is needed arrives in measured amounts, encouraging attentiveness rather than excess. Alpacas respond by drinking slowly, taking only what feels right, then returning easily to stillness. There is gentle biology beneath this behavior. Slow drinking supports steady digestion. It prevents sudden shifts in body temperature. It allows hydration to integrate smoothly rather than disruptively. But as with so many rhythms in this place, the explanation remains secondary to the feeling of calm that surrounds the act itself. You might imagine sitting nearby, watching the surface of a small pool ripple softly as an alpaca drinks. The ripples spread outward, then fade. The water returns to stillness almost immediately, as if nothing has happened. The moment leaves no mark. In many environments, water is treated as something to be hurried toward, captured quickly, consumed without pause. But here, it feels like a shared agreement between land and animal, an understanding that enough will be present, and that there is no need to rush. As the alpacas finish drinking, they linger briefly, then move away with the same quiet ease they arrived. The water remains, the land continues. Nothing feels depleted. Listening to this gentle exchange, you may feel a subtle invitation to slow your own intake, not only of water, but of experience, to allow nourishment to arrive gradually, to trust that what you need can be received without tension. The Andes hold their water carefully, offering it in places that reward attention rather than speed. Alpacas meet it with the same calm respect, fitting naturally into the cycle. Let this image settle within you now. Small ripples smoothing back into stillness. Needs met quietly. Balance maintained without effort. And remain here in a landscape where even nourishment arrives softly, guiding both body and mind toward a deeper, steadier rest. In the Andes, seasons do not arrive with sharp beginnings or sudden endings. They turn slowly, like a wide wheel moving at a pace that can only be felt over time. Changes unfold gently, almost quietly, until one day feels much like the next, and yet subtly different in ways that only patience can notice. Alpacas live comfortably within this gradual rhythm. They do not mark the calendar. They do not prepare hurriedly for what comes next. Instead, their bodies respond naturally as light shifts, temperatures soften or cool, and grasses change color and texture. Wool grows thicker when nights linger longer. Movements become slightly slower when the air cools. Nothing feels forced. Adjustment happens without announcement. The land itself sets the pace. Rain arrives when it does, soaking the soil deeply and then retreating. Grass responds by growing quietly, then resting. The sun lingers longer in some seasons, shorter in others, never asking the landscape to hurry along. Everything moves together, guided by repetition rather than urgency. There is gentle science beneath this seasonal flow. Alpacas are well adapted to gradual environmental changes. Their metabolism adjusts subtly. Their energy use shifts without stress. But these details remain soft and distant, secondary to the feeling of continuity that fills the scene. You might imagine standing in the same place over many months, watching small changes accumulate. The angle of light shifts. The wind carries slightly different scents. The color of the hills deepens, then lightens again. None of these changes demand attention, yet together they shape a sense of time that feels calm and reassuring. Alpacas seem to trust this process completely. They do not resist change, nor do they chase it. They remain present within whatever season is unfolding, meeting each day as it comes. This trust allows them to stay relaxed, even as the world subtly reshapes itself around them. As you listen, you may feel an easing around the idea of time itself. The pressure to anticipate, to prepare, to move ahead can soften. Perhaps it is enough to remain with the moment you are in, allowing the next one to arrive naturally. The slow turning of seasons teaches a quiet lesson, that transformation does not require effort when it is allowed to happen gradually, that growth can be subtle, that rest can exist within change. Alpacas continue their gentle routines, season after season, never appearing hurried, never falling behind. The land supports them through consistency rather than control. Let this rhythm settle into your awareness now. Imagine time widening rather than narrowing, moments flowing gently into one another, and rest here, within a world that changes slowly, where each season arrives like a soft breath, and nothing asks you to move faster than you are ready to go. As the sun begins its slow descent, the Andes soften once more. Light stretches longer across the plains, warming stone and grass one last time before evening settles in. The air cools gently, not suddenly, and the land seems to exhale, preparing for rest. Alpacas respond to this change almost without thinking. As evening approaches, they naturally draw a little closer to one another. The wide spaces remain, but the distances between bodies shorten. Wool brushes softly against wool. Warmth is shared quietly, without instruction or signal. The group forms a gentle cluster, loose and relaxed, shaped by comfort rather than need. There is no urgency in this movement. It happens gradually, one small step at a time, until closeness feels just right. Each alpaca settles into place, adjusting subtly, then becoming still again. The transition from day to evening feels seamless, as though the land itself has guided them into this arrangement. The science behind this behavior is calm and practical. Shared warmth helps maintain body temperature as the air cools. It conserves energy through the night. But like so much here, the explanation fades behind the feeling of ease that fills the scene. What matters most is the sense of safety created by quiet togetherness. As you imagine this moment, you might notice how soothing it feels to witness warmth being shared without effort. There is no negotiation, no hierarchy. Each body contributes simply by being present. Comfort arises naturally from proximity. The sky deepens in color. Pale blues soften into muted tones. Shadows lengthen, then blend into one another. Sound becomes even quieter than before, as if the land itself is settling down. Alpacas remain calm, eyes relaxed, breathing slow. Some rest their heads slightly lower. Others stand comfortably, supported by the presence of the group. Nothing needs to be decided. The night will arrive in its own time. This gentle clustering mirrors something deeply familiar: the instinct to gather at the end of the day, to seek warmth, closeness, and reassurance as light fades. It is a rhythm shared across many forms of life, offered without explanation. Listening to this scene, you may feel a similar invitation to let yourself draw inward, to gather your attention gently rather than scattering it, to allow warmth, whether physical or emotional, to arrive through quiet connection. The alpacas continue to share space as evening settles fully. The land cools, the sky darkens. The group remains steady and calm, held together by nothing more than comfort and trust. Let this image remain with you now. Soft bodies close together, warmth shared easily, the day releasing its hold, and rest here as night arrives gently, supported by presence, surrounded by calm, and carried softly toward sleep. As evening deepens into night, the Andes hold on to very little. The land has learned over long stretches of time how to let things pass without clinging to them. Marks appear, linger briefly, and then soften back into the quiet surface of grass and soil. Alpaca footprints follow this same gentle pattern. During the day, their hooves leave faint impressions as they move slowly across the plains. These marks are shallow, barely pressing into the earth. They do not cut or scar. They rest lightly on the surface, as if aware that they are only visiting. As night settles in, cool air and subtle moisture begin their quiet work. Grass lifts again. Soil relaxes. By morning, most traces have already softened, returning the land to its familiar calm. Nothing remains to announce where the herd has been. There is something deeply soothing about this impermanence. Alpacas move through their world without trying to leave evidence of themselves. Their presence is felt in the moment, not recorded afterward. The land remains open, unburdened by memory. Each day begins fresh, even though it is shaped by everything that came before. There is quiet science beneath this gentleness. Soft hooves protect fragile alpine ecosystems, allowing grasses to regrow and soil to remain stable. Balance is preserved because impact is minimal. But again, the explanation feels secondary to the emotional ease of the scene. You might imagine walking across a stretch of grass at dusk, noticing how your own footprints barely register, how quickly the land seems to forget. There is relief in that forgetting, a sense that nothing must be held on to longer than necessary. In many lives, there is pressure to leave marks, to prove presence, to create permanence. But here, among alpacas and open sky, presence is enough on its own. The moment matters while it is happening. Afterward, it is allowed to dissolve. As the herd settles for the night, movement slows further. Steps become rare. Stillness returns fully. The land receives this quiet without reaction, holding the animals gently without asking for anything in return. Listening to this, you may feel an invitation to let go of your own lingering traces, thoughts that repeat, concerns that press too deeply, memories that do not need to be carried into rest. Like footprints in soft soil, they can be allowed to fade. The Andes remain wide and patient, ready to receive each new day without remembering every step. Alpacas rest within this forgiving space, unburdened by what is past. Let that ease settle into you now. Nothing needs to be preserved. Nothing needs to remain. Tonight, you can move through your thoughts lightly, leaving no trace behind, and allow sleep to arrive as quietly as morning erases footprints from the land. Night arrives in the Andes without ceremony. There is no sudden moment when day ends and darkness begins. Instead, light thins gradually, like a voice lowering itself until it becomes silence. Colors soften, edges blur. The land eases gently into rest. Alpacas respond to nightfall in much the same way. There is no alertness in their movements, no visible shift toward urgency. As the sky deepens, they simply remain where they are, allowing darkness to settle around them like a familiar blanket. Bodies relax further. Breathing stays slow and even. Awareness remains present, but never sharp. The transition feels natural, almost expected. Night is not something to prepare for. It is something that arrives, the way sleep does when the body is ready. Alpacas do not resist it. They do not rush to meet it. They accept it quietly. The science beneath this calm is simple. Alpacas are adapted to cool nights and open skies. Their wool holds warmth. Their grouping supports comfort. Their stillness conserves energy. But these explanations rest quietly beneath the experience itself, like knowledge that does not need to be recalled. You might imagine standing nearby as darkness settles. The stars begin to appear, one by one, without brightness or demand. The air cools slightly, but remains gentle. Sound fades further, until even the wind seems to move more slowly. Nothing signals that the day is over. There is no alarm, no boundary, only a gradual softening, as if the world itself is growing tired and ready to rest. Alpacas remain calm within this dimming landscape. Some lower their heads slightly. Others stand quietly, supported by the closeness of the herd. There's no searching, no checking. Trust fills the space where anticipation might otherwise live. Listening to this moment, you may feel a similar release. The idea that rest must be initiated, scheduled, or earned can begin to dissolve. Perhaps sleep, like night, arrives most easily when it is not summoned, only allowed. The Andes grow darker, but never feel empty. Presence remains, quiet and steady. The alpacas become silhouettes against the land, their forms blending into shadow without losing warmth or safety. As night completes its gentle arrival, the world feels smaller and more contained, held within darkness rather than exposed by light. The day's movements settle fully, stillness becomes complete. Let this moment remain with you now. No alarm, no signal, just a gradual easing into rest. Allow your own awareness to dim in the same gentle way, thoughts softening, attention loosening, as night settles fully over the quiet plains and sleep arrives without needing to be called. When night settles fully over the Andes, the sky opens into a quiet depth. Without city lights or distant glow, darkness here feels complete, yet gentle. And within that darkness, stars begin to appear, not all at once, but slowly, patiently, as if the sky is remembering them one by one. Above the high plains, the stars feel close. They scatter across the sky in soft abundance, their light steady rather than sharp. Some shine faintly, barely more than a suggestion. Others glow with calm confidence. Together, they form patterns that have been watched for generations, returning night after night without needing attention or interpretation. Alpacas remain beneath this sky, unmoved by its vastness. They do not look upward with wonder or concern. The stars are simply part of the night, as familiar as grass beneath their hooves. Their bodies remain settled, breathing slow, eyes relaxed or closed. Nothing in the sky asks anything of them. The air cools slightly as night deepens, but warmth remains held within wool and shared closeness. The land feels still and supported, as though the mountains themselves are resting. Sound has nearly disappeared now. Even the wind seems to pause, allowing the quiet to expand. You might imagine lying back and looking upward, letting your eyes rest on this open sky. There is no need to trace constellations, no need to name what you see. The stars can remain simply points of gentle light, steady and unhurried. In this setting, time feels different. Minutes stretch softly. The idea of counting loses meaning. Night does not progress toward anything. It simply exists, wide and calm. Alpacas continue to rest beneath the stars, their presence grounded and reassuring. They do not measure the night, they trust it. Darkness does not signal danger here, it signals rest. The sky becomes a quiet ceiling, holding the land gently in place. As you listen, you may feel a similar trust forming within yourself. The vastness above does not need to be understood. It does not require attention. It can simply be allowed to exist while your awareness softens. Stars continue their slow movement across the sky, imperceptible moment to moment, yet constant over the hours. Nothing about them is urgent. They shine, they drift, they remain. Let this image settle into your thoughts now. A wide, quiet sky, soft light scattered gently above, the land resting fully below, and beneath it all, a calm presence, steady, warm, and untroubled, inviting you to rest as well, held between earth and sky as the night deepens and sleep draws closer. Long before paths were walked or names were given, the Andes already moved to a rhythm of their own. Days followed nights. Seasons shifted gently. Wind crossed the plains, paused, and crossed them again. These patterns existed quietly, repeating themselves until repetition became something deeper than memory. Alpacas live within these rhythms without needing to recognize them. Their lives are shaped by cycles so old they no longer feel like events. Waking and resting, grazing and pausing, gathering warmth as light fades, and releasing it again as morning returns. Each motion flows into the next without interruption, carried by patterns that have held steady for thousands of years. There is no beginning to these rhythms that can be pointed to, and no clear end. They are not schedules. They are not routines imposed from outside. They are movements that arise naturally when life and land have learned each other well. The earth beneath the alpacas holds these rhythms quietly. Soil warms and cools. Grass grows and rests. Stones absorb sunlight and release it slowly through the night. Nothing asks to be noticed. Everything simply continues. There is gentle science beneath this continuity. Biological clocks align with light and darkness. Hormones rise and fall in steady cycles. Energy flows in predictable patterns that support rest and renewal. But these explanations rest softly beneath the surface, like knowledge the body carries without ever needing to name. You might imagine sitting very still, long enough that the sense of time begins to loosen. When nothing changes quickly, awareness can widen. The mind no longer searches for what comes next. It begins to sense rhythm instead, subtle, steady, reassuring. Alpacas seem to rest within this feeling naturally. They are not concerned with the past or the future. Their attention remains gently rooted in the present moment, supported by patterns that have always been reliable. There's comfort in that reliability, a quiet confidence that nothing needs to be forced. As the night deepens, these ancient rhythms continue uninterrupted. Stars move slowly overhead. The earth cools gradually. Breathing remains even and unremarkable. Everything agrees on the same pace. Listening to this, you may feel your own internal rhythms beginning to align. Heartbeat steadying, breath slowing, thoughts spacing themselves out more gently. The body remembers how to follow patterns older than worry or planning. These rhythms do not belong to alpacas alone. They belong to the land, to the night, to anybody willing to listen quietly enough. Let this sense of deep continuity settle within you now. Nothing new needs to happen. Nothing needs to be completed. You are resting within movements that have always known how to carry life forward, slowly, steadily, without urgency, guiding the world gently onward and guiding you just as gently toward rest. In places like the Andes, memory does not live in stories or markings. It lives in the land itself, in the way soil settles after rain, in the way grass returns to the same gentle height season after season, in the way paths form without ever being planned, simply by being walked quietly over time. The land remembers without holding on. Every hillside has felt countless hooves pass across it, yet it remains open and unchanged in spirit. The earth absorbs movement, warmth, and weight, then releases them again, returning to stillness. Nothing is stored as tension. Nothing is kept longer than it needs to be. Alpacas move within this remembering land as if they are part of its memory rather than separate from it. Their presence feels familiar, almost expected, as though the ground already knows the shape of their steps. When they rest, the earth supports them easily. When they move on, it closes gently behind them. There is a quiet intelligence in this exchange. The land does not resist being touched, and it does not cling to what is past. It holds just enough to remain shaped, and then it lets go. This balance creates a sense of deep calm, one that has been built slowly over generations. You might imagine sitting quietly on the ground, feeling how steady it is beneath you, how it does not react to your presence, how it accepts weight without judgment. The land does not ask who you are or how long you will stay. It simply holds you while you are there. Alpacas seem to trust this completely. They do not test the ground beneath them. They do not approach it with caution or concern. Their bodies relax into the certainty that the land will continue to be what it has always been: supportive, familiar, and forgiving. This kind of remembering feels different from memory as we often experience it. It does not replay. It does not repeat. It does not cling to detail. Instead, it creates continuity, a steady sense that what has worked before will continue to work now. Listening to this idea, you may feel an invitation to rest into something similar, to allow your own experiences to settle without being replayed, to trust that you do not need to carry everything forward in order to remain whole. The land remembers by remaining itself, by offering the same ground, the same quiet support, again and again. Alpacas move gently across this remembering surface, never disturbing its calm. As the night deepens and the world slows further, this sense of quiet continuity becomes easier to feel. You are held not by memory, but by presence, not by effort, but by stability. Let that feeling remain with you now. A ground that supports without asking, a past that does not press forward, a present that feels wide and steady. And rest here, within a land that remembers just enough, and then lets everything else drift gently away. There are places in the world that do not speak loudly, yet seem to understand everything. The high plains of the Andes are like this. They do not change quickly. They do not react sharply. They remain steady, season after season, offering the same open ground, the same wide sky, the same quiet support. In their stillness, there is a kind of intelligence, one that does not hurry to respond, but waits patiently and adjusts only when needed. Alpacas live comfortably within this quiet wisdom. They do not search for stimulation or variation. They remain settled in places that feel consistent, allowing the land's steadiness to shape their own calm. In doing so, they seem to participate in the intelligence of stillness itself, a way of living that values balance over reaction. Still places teach through repetition. The same wind passes again and again. The same light moves across the plains each day. The same grasses sway, rest, and rise. Over time, this consistency creates understanding without explanation. Alpacas learn not by instruction, but by inhabiting these rhythms fully. There is gentle science beneath this calm intelligence. Stable environments reduce stress, allowing animals to maintain steady energy and awareness. The nervous system remains relaxed. Attention widens rather than sharpens. But beyond these facts, there is a feeling that stillness itself carries guidance. You might imagine sitting quietly in one place for a long time, long enough that the urge to adjust begins to fade. When nothing changes quickly, the mind softens, thoughts slow. Sensations become easier to notice without being named. Awareness deepens not through effort, but through quiet presence. Alpacas seem to rest naturally within this state. Their bodies do not seek distraction. Their attention does not dart. They remain available to the moment without gripping it. The land supports this ease by remaining predictable, calm, and forgiving. In a world that often values speed and response, still places offer a different kind of knowing. They show that understanding can arrive through waiting, that clarity can grow from quiet, that rest itself can be instructive. As you listen, you may feel your own thoughts beginning to mirror this intelligence. Fewer questions, less analysis, more space between ideas. The sense that nothing needs to be solved right now. The Andes continue their quiet instruction without words. The alpacas remain settled, embodying a way of being that trusts the environment to hold steady. Together, they create a scene where nothing is rushed and nothing is missing. Let this idea settle gently now. Stillness as wisdom, quiet as guidance, presence as enough, and remain here, within a place that understands without speaking, where calm itself becomes a form of knowing, and rest feels like the most natural response of all. In the Andes, adaptation does not feel like effort. It feels like agreement. The land offers its conditions gently but firmly: cool air, open space, slow seasons, and life responds not by pushing back, but by settling in. Over time, this settling becomes something quiet and stable, a form of peace shaped through patience. Alpacas embody this gentle adaptation. Their bodies do not resist the thin air or the cool nights. They are shaped by them. Wool grows thicker when it is needed and lightens when it is not. Breathing remains slow and steady, adjusted naturally to the altitude. Movement becomes economical, never rushed, never wasteful. Each adaptation feels like a soft adjustment rather than a struggle. This is not adaptation as urgency. It is adaptation as calm listening. The land speaks through subtle changes: slightly cooler evenings, slightly drier grasses, a different quality of light. Alpacas respond quietly, without anticipation or concern. There is no sense of bracing against the future. There is only presence within the moment that is unfolding. There is gentle science beneath this peaceful fit. Gradual adaptation reduces strain on the body. It allows systems to remain balanced rather than overcorrecting. But here, science feels less like explanation and more like reassurance, confirmation that peace can be practical and calm can be efficient. You might imagine adjusting yourself to a familiar room as the temperature shifts slightly. A sweater added, a window opened. Small changes that restore comfort without disruption. This is how adaptation feels in the Andes: quiet, almost unnoticed, yet deeply supportive. Alpacas do not appear vigilant or tense as conditions change. Their awareness remains open, relaxed. The body trusts that it will respond when needed, and that trust allows rest to continue uninterrupted. As you listen, you may feel an easing around the idea of change itself. The belief that adaptation must be difficult can soften. Perhaps adjusting does not require force. Perhaps it can happen slowly, guided by attention rather than effort. The land continues its gentle shifts. Light changes, air cools, grasses respond. Alpacas remain calm within it all, their peace unbroken by the passage of time. This way of adapting carries a quiet lesson, that peace does not come from holding conditions steady, but from meeting them gently as they arrive. That flexibility can feel like rest rather than work. Let this understanding settle within you now. Change does not have to disrupt calm. Adjustment does not have to disturb rest. Like the alpacas of the Andes, you are allowed to adapt softly, to meet the world without tension, to respond without urgency, and to find peace not by resisting change, but by moving with it, quietly and naturally, one gentle moment at a time. Warmth in the Andes is never loud. It does not arrive suddenly or overwhelm the senses. Instead, it appears gently, gathered slowly through sunlight, shared quietly between bodies, held patiently by wool and earth. It is a warmth that feels thoughtful, as though it knows exactly how much is needed. Alpacas live within this quiet poetry of warmth. As daylight lingers, their wool absorbs the sun's soft presence, storing it without haste. Each fiber holds a trace of comfort, layered carefully over time. When evening cools the air, that warmth is released gradually, offering steady reassurance through the night. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is rushed. This exchange between sun, wool, and body feels almost like a conversation conducted in silence. The land offers light. The alpaca receives it. Later, the warmth returns, shared with the cool air and with nearby companions. It is a cycle of giving and holding that repeats without interruption. There is gentle science beneath this quiet poetry. Alpaca fiber traps pockets of air, creating insulation that adapts naturally to temperature changes. But beyond the explanation, there is something deeply comforting about the idea of warmth that arrives slowly and stays kindly. You might imagine standing in the sun on a cool day, feeling warmth seep in rather than strike, how the body relaxes as comfort builds gradually, how muscles soften and breath deepens without instruction. This is the warmth alpacas carry with them, a warmth that soothes rather than stimulates. As night settles, alpacas draw closer, sharing what they have gathered. Bodies align gently. Wool touches wool. Warmth moves between them without effort or intention. The group becomes a quiet source of comfort, each presence contributing simply by being there. This shared warmth feels less like protection and more like reassurance. It says, without words, that nothing needs to be held alone, that comfort can be collective, that rest is easier when warmth is allowed to circulate. Listening to this scene, you may notice a similar sense of easing within yourself, a memory of being warm without needing to create the warmth yourself, a sense of being held gently by surroundings rather than managing comfort actively. The Andes hold warmth in this way too. Stones store sunlight and release it slowly. Soil retains heat just beneath the surface. The land participates fully in this quiet exchange, offering comfort without demand. Let this poetry of warmth settle into your awareness now. Warmth that arrives slowly, comfort that stays without pressure, ease that spreads naturally. And remain here, wrapped in the gentle understanding that warmth does not need to be chased or controlled. It can simply be gathered, shared, and trusted to carry you softly toward rest. In the Andes, time does not seem to move in a straight line. It does not rush forward or pull everything along behind it. Instead, it drifts gently, spreading outward like light across the plains. Moments feel wide rather than narrow, open rather than counted. Here, time feels less like a path and more like a space. Alpacas live comfortably within this sideways sense of time. Their days are not divided into tasks or goals. There's no clear beginning or ending to what they do. Grazing blends into resting. Standing becomes stillness. Stillness becomes quiet awareness. Each moment leans softly into the next, without asking to be marked or measured. This way of living creates a feeling of expansion. Hours do not feel long or short. They simply feel present. The sun moves across the sky, but its movement is almost incidental. Shadows shift gently. Light warms, then softens. Time passes, but without pressure. There is gentle science beneath this perception. When life follows steady rhythms without interruption, the nervous system relaxes. The body stops tracking urgency. Awareness widens. But here, the experience matters more than the explanation. Time feels kinder when it is not being watched. You might imagine sitting in a quiet place with nothing to attend to. No clock nearby. No expectation to move on. After a while, the sense of minutes can fade. What remains is a soft awareness of being, breathing, noticing, resting. Time becomes something you inhabit rather than something that carries you away. Alpacas seem to inhabit time in exactly this way. They do not anticipate what comes next. They do not reflect on what has passed. Their attention rests gently within the present moment, supported by a landscape that changes slowly enough to feel safe. The Andes encourage this relationship with time. Their vastness makes urgency feel unnecessary. Their repetition makes continuity feel natural. Nothing here insists on progress. Everything allows presence. Listening to this rhythm, you may feel your own sense of time beginning to loosen. The pressure to move forward, to finish, to arrive can soften. Perhaps it is enough to remain where you are, letting moments spread gently around you. As evening continues and night deepens, time seems to slow even further. Darkness settles without counting the hours. The stars move imperceptibly. The land rests within a long, quiet stretch of now. Let this idea settle within you. Time does not need to hurry. You do not need to keep pace. Like the alpacas of the Andes, you are allowed to let time move sideways, wide, gentle, and unmeasured, carrying you not toward a destination, but deeper into rest, where moments are spacious and sleep can arrive whenever it feels ready. In the open calm of the Andes, pausing does not feel risky. Stillness does not signal vulnerability or loss of direction. Instead, it feels like a natural resting point, as ordinary and necessary as breathing. The land itself seems to pause often, between winds, between clouds, between changes, without concern for what comes next. Alpacas mirror this ease with pausing. Throughout the day, they stop often, not because they are tired and not because something demands their attention. They pause simply because there is no reason not to. A few moments of stillness settle easily between movements, like commas in a long, gentle sentence. These pauses are relaxed. Bodies remain upright or comfortably settled, Eyes soften, ears turn slowly, listening without searching. Nothing about their posture suggests readiness or alarm. Stillness here is not preparation. It is presence. There is gentle biology beneath this calm habit. Frequent pauses help regulate energy use. They allow digestion and circulation to remain steady. They prevent strain before it ever begins. But beyond these explanations, there is a deeper feeling of safety, an understanding that stopping does not interrupt life. It supports it. You might imagine yourself pausing in this way, not stopping because you must, but because it feels right to do so. Standing or sitting quietly, allowing the body to remain as it is, without planning the next movement. In that pause, there is no loss, only space. In many places, pausing is treated as hesitation or delay. But here, it feels like a skill, something learned gently over time. Alpacas do not question their pauses. They trust them. The land has taught them that nothing urgent waits just beyond stillness. As the light changes slowly around them, alpacas pause again and again, each time returning naturally to movement when it feels appropriate. Action emerges from stillness without effort. Nothing is forced, nothing is delayed. Listening to this rhythm, you may feel a similar permission arise within yourself. The idea that pausing could be safe, that nothing important will be lost if you rest for a moment, that stillness can hold you without judgment. The Andes continue to demonstrate this lesson quietly. Clouds pause before drifting on. Wind pauses before returning. Even night pauses between stars, holding darkness gently in place. Let this understanding settle into your awareness now. Pausing does not mean falling behind. Stillness does not require explanation. Like the alpacas resting calmly on the high plains, you are allowed to pause without fear, to let moments of stillness arrive naturally, to trust that movement will return when it is ready, and to rest within the gentle space in between, where calm deepens and sleep begins to feel closer. In the Andes, seasons do not instruct with force or urgency. They teach quietly, through repetition and patience. Each one returns again and again, carrying the same lessons, softened by familiarity. Nothing is rushed, nothing is demanded. Learning happens simply by living within the cycle. Alpacas grow up guided by these gentle teachers. They experience warmth and coolness, abundance and simplicity, light and shadow, all without labeling or resistance. Seasons pass through their lives like slow-moving companions, shaping behavior subtly rather than dramatically. Each change arrives with enough time to adjust, to settle, to feel comfortable again. The warmer months offer longer light and steadier grazing. The cooler periods invite thicker wool, closer gathering, and longer rest. Alpacas respond naturally, without anticipation or concern. There's no need to prepare in advance. The season arrives, and the body knows what to do. There is quiet science beneath this trust. Repeated seasonal cycles allow animals to adapt gradually, reinforcing patterns that support health and calm. The nervous system learns what to expect. Stress remains low because nothing arrives abruptly. But beyond explanation, there is a sense of reassurance in knowing that change itself can be dependable. You might imagine watching the same landscape across many months. At first, differences feel noticeable. Over time, they blend into something familiar. You begin to sense the season, not by dates, but by feeling, the quality of light, the texture of air, the pace of the day. Alpacas sense seasons in this way. Their awareness is tuned to gradual shifts rather than sudden signals. This allows them to remain relaxed, even as the world subtly transforms around them. The Andes offer these lessons generously, never insisting that they be learned quickly. They allow repetition to do the work. Over time, understanding grows without effort. Balance becomes instinctive. Listening to this, you may feel your own relationship with change soften. Instead of bracing for what comes next, you might imagine allowing it to arrive and teach you gently. Perhaps change does not need to be mastered. Perhaps it can be observed, received, and trusted. As the seasons continue their quiet rotation, alpacas remain steady. They do not fear transition. They do not cling to any particular moment. They allow each phase to be what it is, knowing another will follow in time. Let this idea rest within you now. Change can be kind. Repetition can be reassuring. Learning can happen without effort. Like the alpacas guided by the Andes, you are allowed to learn slowly, through gentle repetition, through quiet noticing, and through trusting that each season, in its own calm way, will show you exactly what you need to know. In the wide openness of the Andes, the idea of home does not take shape as walls or boundaries. It forms instead through familiarity, through the quiet assurance of places that feel known, steady, and welcoming simply because they have been returned to again and again. Alpacas carry this sense of home gently within their daily movements. As the day unfolds and then begins to settle, they naturally drift back toward familiar ground, not because they are guided by markers, but because their bodies recognize comfort, a gentle slope that blocks the wind, a patch of grass that feels just right beneath their hooves, a place where the earth holds warmth a little longer after sunset. These returns are unhurried. There is no sense of needing to arrive quickly. Movement slows as the destination draws nearer, as if the body already knows it is approaching rest. Home here does not demand attention. It offers ease. There is quiet science beneath this behavior. Familiar environments reduce stress. They allow the nervous system to relax, conserving energy and supporting rest. But beyond the explanation, there is something deeply soothing about the act of returning, not to something new, but to something known. You might imagine the feeling of stepping into a space where nothing surprises you, where the light falls in expected ways, where sounds are soft and familiar. The body releases tension almost automatically, recognizing safety before the mind has time to think about it. Alpacas experience this ease each time they return to familiar places. The land holds them gently, without requiring adaptation or attention. Everything fits, nothing presses. As evening deepens, this sense of home becomes even more pronounced. Darkness settles over known ground. Shapes soften, but familiarity remains. The body trusts what it cannot fully see because it has learned the landscape through repetition rather than analysis. Listening to this, you may feel an invitation to rest within your own sense of home, not necessarily a physical place, but a state of ease. A moment where you do not need to adjust or prepare, where being present is enough. The Andes offer this kind of home generously. Their consistency creates comfort. Their calm allows return. Alpacas move within this steady embrace without hesitation, confident that nothing unexpected waits for them there. Let this feeling settle gently within you now. The comfort of returning, the relief of familiarity, the softness of knowing where you are. As night continues to deepen, allow yourself to return as well, to a place of quiet awareness, to a rhythm that feels known, to a sense of being held without needing to hold on. Here, rest does not require effort. It simply welcomes you back. As night settles more fully across the Andes, the world grows simpler. Shapes soften. Distances feel shorter. The land that felt wide and open during the day now feels gently gathered, as though everything is drawn a little closer together. It is in this quiet narrowing that the earlier question returns, unannounced, unpressured. What does it mean to live well in a world that does not hurry? At dusk, the question no longer feels like something that needs an answer. It feels more like a reflection held lightly in the air, the way fading light rests on the hills before disappearing. The land does not respond with explanation. It responds with calm. Alpacas stand quietly within this moment, their bodies relaxed, their movements minimal. They have not changed their behavior to meet the question. They have been living the response all along, through patience, through presence, through a steady alignment with what is already here. The answer, if it can be called that, is not spoken. It is shown in the way the herd remains settled as darkness deepens, in the way breathing stays even, in the way no one prepares for tomorrow or reviews the day that has passed. Life continues gently, without commentary. You might imagine standing among them, letting the question drift through your thoughts and then settle, unanswered. Notice how little discomfort there is in not resolving it, how natural it feels to simply let it be. The need to define, to conclude, to decide begins to soften. At dusk, the Andes seem to suggest that living well may not be something to achieve. It may be something to allow, a state that emerges naturally when effort eases and attention rests where it is. The sky darkens further. Stars begin to glow faintly again. The land cools slowly, holding on to warmth just long enough. Everything moves toward rest without instruction. Alpacas remain calm, untroubled by uncertainty. Their lives are not built around questions. They're built around rhythms, reliable, gentle, and sustaining. In those rhythms, there is no confusion about what matters. Listening to this quiet descent, you may feel your own relationship with questions changing. Perhaps they do not need to be answered before rest arrives. Perhaps they can remain open, carried lightly into sleep. The question dissolves back into the dusk, no longer separate from the landscape. What remains is a feeling, a sense that living well might look very much like this moment. Simple, steady, unforced. Let that feeling remain with you now. No answers required, no conclusions necessary. As the Andes settle into night, allow yourself to settle too, resting not in certainty, but in the gentle assurance that nothing more is needed right now. As the night deepens, the Andes seem to grow quieter still, not emptier, but softer, like a room where the lights have been dimmed and nothing is expected to happen next. In this gentle quiet, the need for explanation begins to fade. words feel less useful here. Understanding arrives in a different way. Alpacas remain settled within this wordless calm. They do not search for meaning in the dark. They do not interpret the night or try to make sense of it. Their bodies rest within it naturally, as if knowing has already happened long ago. Breathing stays slow. Posture remains easy. Awareness continues, but without direction. In this space, answers do not appear as thoughts. They appear as sensations, warmth shared between bodies, the steady feeling of ground beneath hooves, the soft rhythm of breath moving in and out. These quiet signals offer reassurance without explanation. The land participates in this understanding as well. The mountains do not explain themselves. They simply remain. Their presence answers questions. The mind no longer feels compelled to ask. Stability itself becomes a response. You might notice a similar shift within yourself as you listen. The mind may slow its searching. Thoughts may come less frequently, and when they do, they pass without insisting on attention. The body begins to recognize safety without needing to analyze it. There is gentle science beneath this state. When environments feel predictable and calm, the nervous system relaxes. The need to evaluate diminishes. Awareness can rest. But here, the science is felt rather than known, experienced as ease rather than information. Alpacas embody this ease completely. They do not appear alert or guarded. Their stillness is not a pause between actions. It is a state of being. They trust the night because it has always arrived gently, and because nothing has ever demanded more than what they can offer. As darkness settles fully, the distinction between body and land becomes less noticeable. Shapes blend into shadow. Boundaries soften. The world feels held together by quiet continuity rather than detail. Listening to this, you may feel an invitation to stop trying to understand, to allow awareness to rest without direction, to let the sense of knowing dissolve into a simple feeling of being here. Answers, if they arrive at all, arrive quietly, without words, without form. They arrive as calm, as steadiness, as the absence of urgency. Let that wordless understanding settle within you now. Nothing needs to be explained. Nothing needs to be decided. Like the alpacas resting peacefully on the high plains, you are allowed to let answers arrive on their own, or not arrive at all, while rest deepens naturally and sleep moves closer, carried softly by the quiet assurance that this moment is already complete. As night settles more deeply across the Andes, the wind begins to change its tone. What moved gently during the day now slows further, as if it too is growing tired. Breezes soften. Gusts fade into long, quiet breaths that move across the hills and then rest. The land responds by becoming still. Grasses sway once, then hold their position. Stones release the last warmth of daylight. The air cools, but it does so kindly, without sharpness. Everything seems to agree that it is time to settle, time to let motion dissolve into calm. Alpacas remain relaxed within this shift. Their bodies do not tense as the wind eases. There is no alertness, no adjustment required. They have felt this transition many times before. Evening always arrives this way, slowly, predictably, and without asking for attention. As the breeze moves across their wool, it does not disturb their rest. Fibers lift slightly, then settle back into place. The sensation feels familiar, almost comforting. like a gentle hand passing and then withdrawing. Nothing lingers, nothing presses. There's quiet science beneath this settling. Reduced wind helps conserve warmth. Still air supports deeper rest. The body senses stability and responds by relaxing further. But once again, these explanations remain background details, secondary to the feeling of peace that fills the scene. You might imagine standing on a hillside as the wind calms. The absence of movement feels noticeable, but not empty. Instead, it feels like a pause held carefully in place. Sound diminishes. Sensations soften. The world seems to draw a slow breath and then release it. In this calm, awareness can rest without effort. There's nothing to listen for, nothing to track. The mind no longer needs to scan the horizon. Attention naturally turns inward, following the same gentle settling that the land is experiencing. Alpacas embody this descent fully. Their breathing remains slow and even. Their posture stays easy. The presence of others nearby offers quiet reassurance, but no interaction is needed. Togetherness exists without exchange. As the hills grow quieter, the night feels deeper and more contained. Darkness does not expand outward, it settles downward, covering the land like a soft layer. The world feels smaller, closer, easier to hold. Listening to this moment, you may feel your own internal winds beginning to calm. Thoughts slow, sensations even out. The sense of needing to respond or prepare fades naturally. Let this settling continue now. Evening winds easing, hills resting, movement dissolving into stillness. Allow yourself to follow the same gentle descent, letting awareness soften, letting effort fade, and resting quietly within a world that has decided, together, that nothing more needs to happen tonight. As the night becomes complete, something quiet settles into place. The sense of direction that guided the day, forward, onward, next, begins to loosen and fall away. The land no longer seems to point anywhere. It simply rests where it is, whole and sufficient. In this stillness, there is nothing left to follow. Alpacas remain exactly where they are, not because they have arrived somewhere, but because arrival no longer matters. Their bodies are relaxed, balanced easily over the earth. Breathing continues without effort. Awareness remains present, but without focus. Nothing calls them forward. Nothing pulls them back. The wide plains feel contained now, gently gathered by darkness. Paths dissolve into shadow. Distances lose their meaning. The idea of moving towards something quietly fades, replaced by the feeling of being held in place. There is a calm science beneath this moment. When external cues soften, light dimming, sound quieting, movement slowing, the nervous system releases its need to orient and respond. Attention turns inward. Rest deepens naturally. But these processes unfold without needing to be noticed. You might sense a similar shift within yourself. The impulse to keep track of what comes next begins to soften. Thoughts no longer form chains. One idea does not lead urgently to another. Instead, they appear briefly, then drift away, leaving space behind. In the Andes, this space is vast and kind. The land does not ask for navigation at night. It does not invite exploration. It offers stillness as the only direction. Alpacas accept this without hesitation, resting within the pause as if it were the most natural place to be. The stars continue their slow movement overhead, but they do not guide. They simply remain. The wind has settled, the grass is quiet. Everything that once suggested motion has softened into presence. Listening to this, you may feel a sense of relief. There is no path to keep up with, no rhythm to match, no story to continue. The journey has gently dissolved into rest. Nothing needs to be followed now, not a thought, not a sound, not a feeling. Awareness can widen and then soften, like a gaze that no longer needs to focus on any particular point. The alpacas rest fully within this simplicity. Their stillness feels complete, unbroken by expectation. The land supports them without instruction. The night holds them without demand. Let this moment remain with you now. No direction, no sequence, no next step. Allow yourself to rest where you are, with nothing left to follow, nothing left to attend to, and nowhere else you need to be, as the quiet of the Andes deepens, and sleep begins to feel not like something ahead, but something already surrounding you. In the deep quiet of night, the Andes seem to breathe, not in a way that can be heard, but in a way that can be felt. Grass rises slightly, then settles. The air shifts almost imperceptibly. The land moves in slow, steady rhythms that feel older than thought. Alpacas rest within this breathing landscape. Their chests rise and fall gently, unhurried, unforced. Each breath arrives on its own, leaves on its own, without needing attention or control. There is no effort in it. Breathing happens because the body knows how to do it, and the land feels safe enough to allow it. You might imagine watching this from nearby, wool moving subtly with each breath, the soft outline of a body lifting, then settling again. The rhythm is so slow it almost blends into stillness, and yet it continues, steady and reassuring. The grass around them moves in a similar way. When the faintest breeze passes, blades lean together, then return upright. Nothing snaps back quickly. Nothing resists. Movement is gentle enough to feel like rest. There is quiet science beneath this harmony. Slow breathing signals safety to the body. It allows muscles to soften. It tells the nervous system that nothing urgent is required. But here, the science is less important than the feeling, the sense that breath belongs naturally to the night. As you listen, your own breathing may begin to follow this rhythm without instruction. Inhale arrives softly. Exhale lingers a moment longer. There's no need to change anything. The body adjusts simply by being present. The alpacas remain still, breathing in unison with the land. Not synchronized exactly, but aligned in feeling. Everything moves slowly enough that differences disappear. Individual rhythms blend into a shared calm. The night feels supportive now, holding breath and body together. There's no awareness of time passing, only the gentle continuity of breath moving like grass in a quiet field. Let this rhythm settle deeply within you, breath rising, breath falling, nothing else required. Allow yourself to rest inside this simple motion where breathing feels easy, where the body feels supported, and where sleep can arrive naturally, carried on the same gentle rhythm that moves through grass, through wool, and through the quiet heart of the Andes. The alpacas rest close together now, their forms creating a soft, uneven line against the darkened land. No one moves. No one needs to. The quiet presence of the herd feels complete, as though everything that needs to be known is already understood. Within this closeness, there is ease. Bodies share warmth without effort. Each alpaca rests in its own space, yet remains gently connected to those nearby. There is no awareness of separation, only the comfort of being part of something calm and steady. Thoughts, if they arise at all, seem to rest too. You might imagine your own thoughts behaving this way, no longer scattered, no longer racing ahead. Instead, they gather gently, then grow quiet. Nothing needs to be followed. Nothing needs to be solved. Awareness remains, but it is wide and soft. The herd breathes quietly together. The sound is barely there, more sensed than heard. The land supports them without shifting. The sky remains still above. Everything agrees on rest. In many moments of life, closeness can feel demanding, but here, togetherness feels effortless. No attention is required. No interaction is expected. Presence alone is enough. Listening to this scene, you may feel a similar sense of ease spreading inward. The feeling of not having to hold yourself up alone. The quiet reassurance that rest can be shared, even if only with the stillness around you. The alpacas remain settled, their calm unbroken. Their bodies know this posture well. It is the posture of rest, learned over countless nights like this one. Nothing surprises them. Nothing disturbs their ease. As the hours pass, the herd remains steady. Even if one shifts slightly, the movement is small, absorbed easily by the stillness. Calm returns immediately, as though it were never interrupted. Let this image remain with you now. Closeness without effort. Rest without vigilance. Thoughts settling like bodies in a quiet herd. Allow your own awareness to gather gently, then grow still, supported by presence, held by calm, and guided softly towards sleep, where nothing is required of you except to remain at ease. Even the faintest traces of light have begun to fade now. What once glimmered softly on wool and stone has dissolved fully into shadow. The landscape no longer reflects or responds. It simply rests, held quietly by darkness. Alpacas remain calm as light disappears. Their bodies do not change as brightness fades. Vision is no longer needed. Familiarity holds them steady. The land beneath them is known. The presence of the herd is felt without seeing. Darkness becomes a gentle companion rather than an absence. Wool, once catching sunlight, now absorbs the cool of night evenly. Stone releases its last warmth slowly. The air settles into a steady temperature that feels balanced and kind. Nothing shifts abruptly. Nothing startles. You might imagine watching the last edge of twilight disappear, noticing how the world does not collapse when light is gone. Instead, it becomes simpler. Fewer details, fewer distinctions. Awareness no longer needs to move outward. The mind responds in much the same way. As sensory input softens, thoughts begin to thin. Images fade. Language loosens. Attention no longer needs to organize what it sees. The alpacas rest within this simplicity. Darkness does not isolate them. It gathers them. The night feels full rather than empty, holding warmth, breath, and stillness together. Listening to this moment, you may feel your own inner light dimming gently, not into absence, but into rest. The effort to perceive, to interpret, to remain alert can finally soften. Nothing is lost when light fades. The body continues, breath continues, calm continues. Let this fading happen within you now. Edges softening, details dissolving, awareness growing quieter. Allow yourself to rest in a world where seeing is no longer required, where darkness feels safe, where presence remains without effort, and where sleep can deepen naturally, carried by the same gentle quiet that now holds wool, stone, and land together. At this depth of night, even intention seems unnecessary. The idea of holding on to anything, thoughts, sensations, awareness itself, begins to feel distant. The land does not hold, the sky does not hold. Everything simply rests where it is. Alpacas embody this complete release. Their bodies are fully settled now, supported by earth and warmth. Muscles remain soft. Breathing continues on its own. There is no readiness, no expectation, no sense of needing to maintain awareness of the surroundings. Nothing is being watched. Nothing is being anticipated. You might notice how this idea feels in your own body. The release of effort, the relief of not needing to keep track, the comfort of letting everything be as it is, without adjustment. In many moments, rest feels like something to achieve. But here, rest feels like something already present, waiting quietly for attention to fall away. When there is nothing to hold, rest becomes inevitable. The Andes remain still. The herd remains still. Even the stars move too slowly to notice. Everything exists within a long pause that does not need to end. Listening to this, you may feel the boundaries of thoughts softening further. The space between thoughts grows wide enough that they no longer form at all. Awareness drifts without direction, without need. Nothing needs to be remembered. Nothing needs to be prepared. The body has everything it needs for this moment. Alpacas rest fully within this completeness. Their ease is total, not because they have done anything, but because there is nothing left to do. Let this release settle gently now. No holding, no effort, no task remaining. Allow yourself to sink into the same quiet acceptance where sleep does not need to be invited because it is already here, waiting patiently as awareness loosens its final grip and rest deepens into something soft and wordless. The night has reached its deepest calm. There is no sense of before or after now, only a continuous stillness that holds everything gently in place. The Andes rest. The alpacas rest. The land and sky share a quiet agreement that nothing more is required. Everything flows through the wild, not as movement, but as continuity. Breath flows, warmth flows, time flows gently without direction. Nothing resists, nothing clings. Life remains present without effort. Alpacas remain settled within this flow, their bodies fully supported, their awareness softened beyond thought. They are not separate from the land beneath them or the night around them. They belong to this moment completely. You might sense this belonging within yourself as well, the feeling of being carried rather than carrying, of resting within something larger and kinder than effort or intention. Awareness drifts, then rests, then drifts again, without needing to stay awake or fall asleep. The land does not notice the difference. Stars continue their quiet paths overhead. The earth holds steady. Breath continues. Everything that needs to happen is already happening, slowly and naturally. There is no final image to hold on to, no thought to finish, no awareness to maintain. The story dissolves into sensation, then into quiet, then into rest. And so, as the night continues without needing attention, we leave you here, in this gentle flow, this steady calm, this quiet belonging. Everything flows through the wild, sleep in that motion.